Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Medical Aspirants. In this video, I will be talking about human skeleton. As you can see in the screen, this is the model of the human skeleton. It includes different bones. First of all, see the classification. As you can see in the classification, first one is axial skeleton. Axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton includes this skull and this thoracic cage and the vertebrae, cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, sacral and the coccyx. And in the appendicular skeleton includes the bones of the, that is upper limb, hand, lower limb, upper limb and the lower limb. Let's see the different bones. First of all, this is the vertebrae. There are different classification of the vertebrae. That is, this is the cervical vertebrae. It is a 7 in number, and this is the thoracic vertebrae, which is 12 in number, and this is the lumbar vertebrae, lies in the lumbar region, and 5 in number. And as you can see, that this is sacrum. It is 5 in number. After sometimes when our body grow, after the 5 bone ossified and forms a single bone, and this is the coccyx. This purple one is coccyx, and this is a 4 in number. As you can see, this is the thoracic cage bone, as it includes ribs, which is 12 of pair, sternum. Sternum is also known as a breastbone. This is sternum. There are 12 pairs of rib, and this is the costal cartilage. The costal cartilage helps to. This is the costal cartilage. Costal cartilage helps to joins the ribs with the sternum. As you can see in the figure, costal cartilage joins the ribs and the sternum. And behind the sternum, posterior to the sternum, there is a vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, which is 12 in number. As you can see, the ribs are classified into true and false rib. True ribs are from 1 to 7. It is a true rib because it directly joins with the sternum by the costal cartilage, and false rib are 7 to 12 are false rib. That is, they are indirectly joins with the sternum, or not joins with the sternum. As you can see, this is a floating rib. That is 11th and the 12th rib of the floating limb. They are not joined with the sternum. Let's see, this is the pelvic bone, also known as hip bone. And this is a hip bone, and it is formed of 3 bone, that is ilium, pubic, and posterior to this there is a ischium. It is formed of 3 bone, that is pubic, ilium, ischium. 3 bone. It consists of 3 bone, and after some time it fuses and form a single bone, hip bone. And in between the hip bone, it is a sacrum. It is a sacrum. There are 2 hip bones. This is the right hip bone. This is the left hip bone. 2 right and left hip bone. And this is the sacrum. After some time, there is 5 sacrum. There is a 5 in number, but after some time it fuses and form a single bone. As you can see, this is the bone of the upper limb. That is the bone of the hand. It includes the scapula, clavicle, and it is the humerus. It is the long bone, and also the ulna, radius, and also this is the bones of the hand. It includes the carpal bone, metacarpal bone, phalanges. Let's see the different bones of the hand. This is the bones of the hand. This is the carpal bone, which is 8 in number. This is the metacarpal bone, 5 in number. This is the bones of the phalanx. This is the proximal phalanx. The part which lies towards the body is the proximal. This is a proximal. proximal, intermediate, this one is blue one is intermediate, and the distal which lights away from the body, that is a distal. There are total 14 bone. As you can see in the thumb there is only a 2, and the rest of them there is a each in there is a 3 bone. This is the bone of the lower limb, that is the bone of the leg. This is the bone of the lower. It includes different bone, that is the femur. It is the longest bone of our body. This is the patella. Patella is the sesamoid bone. It lies in front of the, that is lower end of the femur. This is the patella. This is the tibia. This is the fibula. In our body, fibula have not any function, that have not any function. It is used for the bone transplantation. And this is the bones of the foot. This is the bones of the foot. Let's see the bones of the foot. As you can see, this is the tarsal bone. Tarsal bone. Tarsal bones are 7 in number. Tarsal bone are 7 in number, and this is the metatarsal bone. Metatarsal bone are 5 in number, and this is the bones of the phalanges. It is 14 in number. Let's see the skull. This is the skull. Total number of bone in skull is 28. It has 28 bone. As you can, this is the lateral view of the skull. It is also known as head. In 28 bone, that is, it has 28 bone, including the ear ossicles. Ear ossicles are the bones of the ear. As you can see here, the bones, that is the steps, incus, and the malleus. Including this, in each side there is a 3, that is steps, incus, malleus. And total number of ear ossicles are 6 in number in the both side. And this is the skull. And you can see this is the some skull bones are, that is occipital. This is parietal, 2 in number, right and left. This is the frontal bone. This one is frontal bone, single bone. This is the temporal bone, in both right and left temporal bone. This is the mandible, movable bone, single in number. And this is the zygomatic bone. This is the maxilla. This is the nasal bone. Some names are here. And this is the ear ossicles. And this is the posterior view of the skull. This is the occipital bone. This is the right two parietal bone, right and left parietal bone. This is the temporal bone. This is the mandible. Only the one bone, only the bone which can move, movable bone in the skull. This is the this one is zygomatic. This one is maxilla. This one is temporal, occipital, and frontal. Between the parietal and the occipital, we can see a suture. Suture means it's a joint of the skull. Joint of the skull is known as suture, which forms the coronal suture. And between the both parietal bone, there is a suture, and the suture called sagittal suture. There are many sutures in the skull. We will discuss later in the video detail about the skull. Thank you for watching my video.